One of the biggest fears instilled in almost every human's mind is the fear of being suddenly or unknowingly endangered within the comfort of their own home. Luckily, when Ring Doorbell was founded and took off in the mid to late 2010s, many people felt more safe in their homes, knowing they could have a camera to alarm them if anyone was approaching their homes. While almost a third of the US population owns a doorbell camera, this still doesn't deter some of the worst and most deranged people from approaching people's homes with strange or horrible intent. Today we'll be going over an iceberg that I created that covers a wide variety of these encounters caught on Ring doorbell cameras. This is the disturbing Ring doorbell footage, Iceberg Explained. Wild animal encounters. Starting the chart a bit more tame, it's not uncommon to see different wild animal encounters caught on Ring doorbell cameras. While they're usually caught on doorbell cameras from homes in more rural areas, and they aren't really dangerous at all as the animals will usually walk away after a short while, we still have a plethora of encounters from more urban areas, or even encounters that turn dangerous for the homeowners and their pets. One of these more dangerous instances is shown in this video caught by a Florida man's Ring doorbell camera. The man was on his porch with his 3 dogs when a bear seemingly came out of nowhere and jumped the baby gate that the man had set up to prevent his dogs from running off the porch. The man then fights off the bear, pushing him back onto the front yard before pushing a bench in front of the doorway to prevent the bear from coming onto the porch again. Luckily, the man only sustained a small scratch and bite from the bear, as this could have turned fatal very quickly for the man. Retro TV mystery. One of the more harmless mysteries surrounding Ring doorbell footage. Back in summer 2019, there was a phenomenon occurring in a neighborhood right outside of Richmond, Virginia, where many people would open their doors in the morning and find vintage box TVs left on their porch. When these people would check what their Ring doorbell cameras picked up from the night before, they found a man wearing a dark blue uniform and an old TV on his head walking up to their porches and leaving these old TVs right in front of their doors, sometimes even waving to the camera. The man left about 60 TVs in total on 60 different porches and would seemingly only leave them on porches with doorbell cameras. When the police found out about this, they started immediately seizing the TVs out of fear that the TVs were harboring some sort of dangerous or illegal substance inside. However, the police never found anything out of the ordinary with the TVs. The police also never identified the mysterious man or found a clear motive as to why he was doing this. Some people online had various theories, with some claiming that this was an attempt at viral marketing for Ring themselves, or perhaps for a retro electronics store in the area. Others thought it was more malicious and was an attempt to illegally dump these TVs without having to pay the disposal fees, as in some areas they can be a bit pricey. Regardless, this is probably the most harmless entry on the chart, but I still felt it was very interesting. Attempted key fob scan. In some Ring doorbell videos, you can see strangers approaching people's front doors and standing there for a second before running away. This isn't entirely out of the ordinary, as many criminals will approach your door to see if your front door is unlocked for an easy break-in before realizing it's not and simply leaving. However, in some of these cases, we can see people holding up a small device to the front door before running away. In this particular instance, you can see this boy holding a device to the homeowner's front door, constantly keeping his eyes on the device before quickly moving off the front porch. I was genuinely confused on what this device could be used for, but luckily some people who responded to the original upload of the video gave me some insight. Apparently the device used by the boy is called a Flipper Zero, which for those of you who don't know, is a portable device that allows you to read, interact with, or even emulate different types of electronic signals. The boy in the video could have been doing a couple different things with this device. They could have been trying to scan the Ring doorbell itself as a means to remotely ring the doorbell, or more maliciously, they could have been attempting to scan for any nearby key fobs that would be lying dormant next to the front door, which would allow him to remotely unlock the homeowner's car. Luckily, a lot of modern car key fobs have more advanced security measures that wouldn't allow these flippers to bypass them, but it's still unsettling to see this on your doorbell footage in the middle of the night. House fires. Sometimes animals and people aren't the only things that can harass homeowners on a day-to-day basis, as it's pretty common for house fires to occur in neighborhoods. In the United States alone, a house fire occurs every 89 seconds, which means doorbell cameras pick up on a lot of fires that occur in or around homes. In some of these cases, the neighbors of these homeowners will come to their aid after noticing the fire and use the Ring doorbell camera as a means to alert the people inside about the fire.
The house next door to you is on fire! Your house is almost on fire!
Okay, thank you.
These neighbors undoubtedly have saved many people's lives using the doorbell cameras, as if they weren't alerted about the fire, it could have spread and made the homes unescapable. Doorbell licking. On more than one occasion now, there's been an instance of a Ring doorbell camera picking up footage of a stranger licking the doorbell. In these instances, the stranger doesn't break or steal anything, they simply walk up to the porch and start licking either the Ring's camera itself or just the doorbell. The most infamous of these cases comes from Salinas, California, where a Ring doorbell caught footage of a man licking a doorbell while gazing back and forth from the doorbell to the Ring camera. The strangest thing about this was the fact that the man was licking the doorbell for over 3 hours. The woman who owned the house wasn't home at the time, however her kids were, and were also completely unaware that the man was right outside their front door doing this. The homeowner also claimed that the man was touching himself for extended periods of time during this as well, which makes the situation that much more heinous. The man was later identified as 33-year-old Roberto Aroro and was charged with prowling and petty theft, which is a bit confusing given the fact that he didn't break or steal anything from the homeowner. Clown encounters. Back during the clown trend of October 2016, it was becoming pretty popular for people to try and gain notoriety by dressing in a clown costume and walking around neighborhoods at night. This was around the same time where Ring was becoming a mainstay for homeowners, so this birthed tons of footage of these clowns approaching homes and being caught on the doorbell cameras. In most cases, the clowns would notice the home has a Ring camera, and in an attempt to gain popularity, they would act in a creepy manner in front of the Ring camera and then walk away. But in some cases, they had much more malicious intent. Located in Texas, a homeowner noticed his backyard gate was wide open and decided to check his home's outside camera footage from the previous night. What he witnessed at the 2 a.m. mark was a man dressed in clown attire peeking into his windows and stalking his house, holding what seems to be a knife. The clown tries to open the front door before noticing it was locked, and then moves onto the backyard, where he then opens the gate and tries the back door, which was also thankfully locked. The man even tries what seems to be the garage door, but again, thankfully locked. The homeowner originally posted this video onto LiveLeak, which was still functioning in 2016, and he claimed that the police were involved but were never able to identify the clown in the video. Porch refuge. When people are trying to hide from something or someone in urban areas, they don't have many options to choose from in terms of hiding spots. In some instances, their best bet is to hide close to someone's house, and the doorbell cameras will sometimes pick this exactly up. Many homeowners have had motion detected reports throughout the night just to find people sitting on or around their front porch in what seems to be an attempt at hiding from something or someone. In this specific example, a woman got a motion detected notification at 5 a.m. one night, and when she checked back the footage, she saw what appeared to be a woman crouching on her front porch, peeking around the corner of her house. A car drives by, which causes the person to shift back into cover and out of sight from the car. One thing people pointed out about the video is that the person seems to be wearing a hospital gown of sorts, which makes this video much more stranger. The homeowner never saw the person again or got any information on who this could have been or what they were hiding from. Sword-wielding thief. This entry is for sure one of the more well-known videos caught on a doorbell camera, just because of its very strange nature. Caught in a neighborhood in Phoenix, Arizona, a homeowner was receiving many motion detective notifications throughout the night. When they checked back the footage the next day, they saw a man approaching their front porch, equipped with an axe, a hammer, and a sword underneath his arm, scoping out their entire front yard. The man, also holding a plastic bag, stole many items from their front porch, although the items only seemed to be lawn decorations or gardening tools and nothing too major. The man was clearly equipped to harm someone, so who knows what could have happened if the homeowner decided to investigate the front porch. Attempted robbery. Like I mentioned before, doorbell cameras do not always deter criminals from just openly trying to strong-arm themselves into your home. Most of these criminals, upon seeing the camera, will just cover their faces with their jacket, or in this case, we can see them using unnerving masks to conceal their identities. This footage is from October 2022 at around 5 in the morning. The footage shows 3 men in hoodies wearing eerie Halloween masks while standing on the front steps of someone's home. The men walk up to the front door, and we can see them carrying weapons, but before we can see anything else, one of them covers the doorbell camera with his glove. After a short while of time, the homeowner finally wakes up from the motion detected notifications, and when he checks the app, all he can see is the man's glove covering the camera. The homeowner then tries to communicate with the men through the doorbell, although he gets no response.
Hello? Hello?
It's not clear whether or not the men were trying to get the homeowner to open the door, or if they wanted to pick the lock to the door, but either way they fled the scene after the man stopped speaking to them and called the police. The 3 men have still not been identified. Ring camera hacked. In 2019, Ring released their Ring indoor camera for families that would like to have added security for inside their homes. Since these cameras have to be connected to your network, it's not impossible for people to try and intercept your Ring camera by accessing the network that the Ring uses. When these people gain access to the cameras, they have a full view of the camera without the homeowners and families noticing. In some cases, these Ring hackers will even speak through the Ring in attempts to mock or scare the families.
What do you play? Do you play CSGO?
The most popular instance of this came from Mississippi during winter 2019, when an indoor Ring camera that was placed in the homeowner's 8-year-old daughter's room was hacked. The man who gained access to the camera started speaking to the 8-year-old girl. He first played eerie music and then some banging noises. The little girl thought it was her sister in the other room, but after figuring out that wasn't the case, she started to ask who was there, and the man responded to her.
Who's that?
I'm your best friend. I'm Santa Claus.
Mommy!
I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend?
The man continued to tease the little girl, and even encouraged her to do some weird things like trying to get her to say different slurs. The little girl finally then screamed for her parents, which caused her father to come in her room and take out the camera's batteries. After Ring investigated this, they claimed it wasn't a security breach on their part, and claimed it was a network breach on the family due to having a weak password. After this, Ring heavily encouraged families to enable 2-step authorization and have strong passwords to prevent anything like this from happening again. Man scared at door. For sure one of the stranger clips I found due to its unnerving and confusing nature. This doorbell footage was recorded in Rochester, New York at around 2 a.m. and shows a shirtless man ringing a home's doorbell before crouching down behind the car in the driveway. The man is showing nervous behavior, breathing heavily and frantically looking at the street from behind the car. The man is also holding what seems like a blunt object, like a bat. The man waits a minute before walking away, but as he walks away, we can hear a voice call out claiming that the police are on their way. It's unclear what the man's motivation was, as he was never identified, but he could have either been hiding from someone else and trying to get help from the homeowner, or he could have been hiding from the door in an attempt to jump the homeowner with whatever weapon he was holding. Either way, this situation must have not been good news at all, and the fact that no other information has come up about it makes it that much more unnerving. Delivery impersonator robbery. With many homeowners having Ring doorbells on their front doors, it's now become normal for people to always check and speak through the Ring before answering the door. Not only is it more convenient for the homeowner, but it's much more safer than just opening the door for any outside stranger. This has made criminals have to up their game and come up with new creative ways to get people to open their front doors willingly so they can commit all sorts of heinous acts. An example of this comes from doorbell camera footage from Montgomery County in March 2023. In this footage, a woman is seen at the front door of a home holding a fast food bag with her phone out and is repeatedly seen knocking on the door and peeking through the window, all of this happening at 1 a.m. The homeowners said that they were awake and monitoring through the camera app the entire time. The homeowners also said this lasted for about 40 minutes before they checked their backyard camera and found 4 men in hoodies running through their yard and hopping the gate before escaping. They're not sure if the plan was for the 4 men to try to find a way inside while the decoy distracted them at the front, or if the 4 men were planning to aggressively try to get in from the front if the homeowners answered the front door, suspecting that it was just a confused DoorDash driver in need of help. None of the individuals in the video were identified or charged either, so they could still be out there and trying the same tactic on other homeowners. Social services impersonator. In another example of criminals using a persona to bypass doorbell cameras, a man in Sacramento, California, was caught on several occasions approaching the same house at different times, claiming to be with social services. The man claims that social services sent him to check on children inside of the home, even claiming that he can hear children crying from the outside and that he needs to be let inside to check on them.
Yeah, my social services.
And asking the homeowner to let him come check on children inside the home.
You know, I hear a child crying in there, a little baby.
In one video, you can hear the response from the mother inside.
You need to leave. I'm calling the cops.
In all 4 instances of the man approaching the home, the homeowners called the police, however they never arrested him or fined him. Instead, they just gave him mild warnings. This could have turned out much more horrible, as the homeowner claimed to be in the house alone with her children during most of the man's visits, with no real means to protect herself. As to my knowledge, the man stopped harassing the homeowner, thankfully. Woman trying to unlock door. One of the more popular clips that come to mind when you think of unsettling doorbell footage. This was captured in Albuquerque, New Mexico at around 3 a.m. in April 2023. The footage shows a woman searching a home's porch for a key before trying many of her own keys on the front door. The homeowner was asleep at this time, although he was woken up by the motion detected alert on his phone. When he checked the footage back, he was greeted with the woman's face inches away from the doorbell camera as she tried to unlock his door with her keys. The homeowner claimed that she walked away shortly after and began to try to open his car doors with her keys. When that didn't work, she then threw rocks at his car windows before leaving for good. The woman was never identified and it's unclear what her motives were, although I think it's safe to assume she was either under the influence or suffering from a mental disorder. Kicking down doors. There's several videos caught by Ring doorbells of criminals trying to desperately break into homes by kicking in the front door. Usually in these cases the homeowners won't be home, as if they hear a person trying to kick down their front door, they're obviously going to call the police right away. However, there is one video I found caught by a Ring doorbell that was much more unusual. Occurring in Carson City, Nevada, we can see these two men walk up to the side door of this home and cover their faces with their hoodies once they see the doorbell camera. One of the men, using only 2 donkey kicks, breaks down the homeowner's door, which reveals the family sitting right in the living room. The men then just walk off and the family rushes outside but can't seem to spot the men who did this. It's unclear why the men would just do this when it's pretty clear the family is home. Some suggest that the men were just testing the waters and could be back soon when no one's home. The men still haven't been identified, but thankfully to my knowledge they haven't tried to harass the family since. Police impersonators. Another tactic we've seen criminals use to bypass Ring cameras is to impersonate officers of the law. If you see a police officer or detective at your front door, you're more than likely going to answer, and this was taken into consideration by this man, who went by Jeff Rushmore during summer 2019 in a neighborhood in Chicago. This man, or Jeff, approached multiple different homes claiming to be a detective, equipped with a badge, a radio, and a fake uniform. In this first instance, he tries to lure the homeowner outside, but they refuse to and they stay inside, thankfully.
Can you open the door?
26, I got you en route. Hill Park, District 821 is going to be the 6th person. 900 North Villa. 900 North Villa. Looks like PD is with them. They can have some custody.
In this second clip, however, caught by a different home's doorbell camera, he performs his same routine, except the homeowner does answer the door. Jeff claims there's a report for a missing person by a nearby neighbor before the doorbell footage abruptly ends.
Hi, sorry to bother you so late. I'm Rushmore with the Winfield Police Department. I'm an investigator. When your neighbors down the street reported a missing...
There isn't much known about the identity of this man or his motives. Some theorize that he was hoping to gain the trust of the homeowners in an attempt to be let inside where he would do God knows what. Stalkings. This entry is pretty self-explanatory, so I thought I'd just jump into a couple of the eeriest examples I found of stalkings caught by doorbell cameras. The first comes from June 2021, from a woman and her mother who had just set up a couple Ring cameras around the exterior of their house, along with the doorbell camera. Right after setting up the cameras, the woman started to receive several motion detective notifications at night. When she checked back the footage the next day, they saw a man creeping up to all sides of their house and peeking through many windows. When the woman called the police, she explained to them that she feared he's been doing this for a while now, as it's almost like the man knew the entire layout of their house and what windows to look into. The police couldn't identify the man, so there was nothing they could really do for the family, unfortunately. Fearing the man would show up again, the woman placed more cameras around her bedroom window, and exactly a week later in the middle of the night, she caught this. The woman banged on the glass and yelled at the man, which caused him to run away, but again, the police couldn't do much to help them, so the woman and her mother ended up having to move completely. The second instance comes from Dallas in November of 2021, where a woman shared footage that her Ring camera was picking up outside of her apartment door every night for over a month. The man in almost every clip is standing completely still about 10 feet from her door for several minutes at a time. In some clips you can hear him mutter words under his breath, but it's too quiet to make out what he's saying. The woman posted an update shortly after, saying that her friends and family had confronted the man, and that they encouraged security to be on the lookout for him, but since then there's been no updates. It's still unclear what the man wanted with the woman, but it's safe to assume it wasn't anything good. Almost followed inside. That walk from your car to your house can leave you pretty vulnerable, as your hands can be full and you're distracted from your surroundings as you try to unlock your door to get inside your home. Criminals understand this, and sometimes try to easily get inside your home by swiftly creeping up on you as you unlock your door to get inside. A Ring doorbell caught this footage of a mother and son returning home late at night. As the son gets inside and closes the door behind him, we can see a man slowly following from behind and walking through their yard to get to their door. Luckily, the mother notices him and quickly locks the door before ordering him to leave. However, after he tries to open the door, he silently takes a step back and just stares blankly at the door. The mother then called the police, but the man fled the scene and has not been identified. How long he was following them for, or what he planned to do, is anyone's guess, really. Scared woman mystery. This incident occurred in El Paso, Texas on April 29, 2023. A homeowner got a motion detected notification at around 4:30 a.m., and when they checked their app, they were greeted with this footage of a woman in a dress frantically running up to their door and knocking on it, before quickly ducking and hiding from something. It seems like after the homeowner doesn't answer the door, the only goal for the woman is to hide. As we can see, she crouches down, and as soon as she sees oncoming headlights, she rushes to hide behind a column. It wasn't caught on the camera, but a car parks in front of the house and the woman walks towards it before disappearing out of the camera's view. Once the video was posted online, there were two different theories on what could have been happening in the footage. One was that the woman was an actual victim of kidnapping or trafficking and was trying to escape and seek refuge by going door to door. The other theory being that the woman was part of a scheme to try and rob different homeowners by playing a woman in distress and luring them outside so a group of hidden people could jump in and gain easy access to the inside of the home. Something supporting this theory is the fact that in the very beginning of the video, the woman is seen slowly walking up to the porch, and then she only starts frantically running when she notices the Ring camera. A couple weeks after the footage was posted online, people began to share this headline of a woman in El Paso being charged with robbery and pointing out the resemblance between her and the woman in the Ring video. Whether this is the same woman is still unknown, so the mystery behind the footage is still ongoing. Are you sure? Are you positive? Starting the final layer, we have one of the most disturbing clips caught by doorbell footage. This took place in 2021 in Las Vegas and features a man walking up to a homeowner's door before repeatedly knocking. The home is owned by a married couple, however the wife is home alone as the husband is away at work. The man looks into the window of the door, mumbling under his breath and repeatedly saying the phrase, "Are you sure? Are you positive?" all while talking to no one, as no one has answered the door yet.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive?
As the man starts to walk away, the husband of the homeowner starts speaking to the man remotely through the Ring camera, which causes the man to turn around and explain his motive for being at the home.
I had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about baby fuel. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm gonna. Do you have her open the door? I'm gonna ring the girl that's on the other side of this door when she lets me in.
The man says he's waiting for the woman to answer the door so he can her. He repeats this calmly into the Ring camera several times until the husband stops answering, presumably to call law enforcement. The man then walks away, still mumbling the phrase, "Are you sure? Are you positive?" to no one but himself. Thankfully, the man was later identified as 40-year-old Christopher Sums, and the police arrested him shortly after the video was recorded. Old woman with knife. For sure one of the more popular entries on this list, a video was uploaded online back in early 2019, which shows the Ring doorbell footage from a homeowner who was sleeping at the time. Sometime in the middle of the night, this elderly woman approaches the homeowner's front door and seems to be holding a large knife. The woman rocks back and forth while limply holding the knife and seems to be frantically looking around the front door. The woman then works up the courage to finally ring the doorbell, however she just freezes with her hand inches away from the doorbell. For some reason she just can't bring herself to ring the doorbell. The woman then stands again in front of the door, rocking back and forth some more before the video abruptly ends. The woman was never identified, and it's unclear what her motives were. Many people online claim her behavior to be from dementia or some sort of mental disorder. However, the fact that she was holding a knife to the door made the situation a lot more dangerous on top of its already eerie nature. Arson. One of the worst things to wake up to as a homeowner is for sure a fire breaking out in or around your home. Like we mentioned before, doorbell cameras can be useful for neighbors to alert you if you're unaware about a fire occurring in your home. However, a doorbell camera can also alert you if someone else is causing the fire to terrorize your home. One of the more recent instances I can find of this came from August 2024, where a man in Hazelwood, Missouri approached a husband and wife's home around 1 a.m. The man drives up on his scooter before quickly starting the fire on the couple's front porch and then quickly driving away. The home was almost completely devastated, but thankfully the couple made it out with their animals. However, they lost many items in the fire, including their vehicles in the garage. The man was later identified as Joshua Thomas, who was charged with felony arson. As for his motive, the man had no connection to the couple, and they had never even seen each other before. The man just claimed he did it completely at random, which is just horrible to hear as the homeowner. Fort Worth, Texas kidnapping. In May of 2019, a Ring camera in Fort Worth, Texas would record an incident occurring in the street of an 8-year-old daughter being kidnapped as her mother is forced to the ground before the kidnapper drives away. Right after this incident, police were notified and a statewide investigation was set up immediately to recover the girl. The Ring doorbell footage was shared around and used as valuable evidence in the investigation, as it clearly showed the kidnapping taking place along with the man's vehicle. It only took a few hours for the girl to be found and the suspect to be arrested, as the police were able to identify the man's car from the Ring video in the parking lot of a nearby hotel where he was located with the girl. All caught on body cam footage, the police raided the hotel and found the girl, who was thankfully unharmed. The kidnapper was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole, as he had an extensive criminal history. It's unclear whether or not the police would have been able to find the girl this quickly, if not for the Ring doorbell footage. Handcuffed woman mystery. This entry details another investigation using footage from Ring cameras, although it's a lot more deep of a rabbit hole. In Montgomery County on August 23, 2018, a woman was seen approaching several homes at around 3 a.m. While she approached several homes, this home in particular was able to record her since it had a doorbell camera, so we were able to get a good look at her, and and from the looks of it, she seemed to be wearing handcuffs around one of her wrists. The police were called by one of the homeowners and an investigation was launched alongside the video being posted to the internet. The video spread fast and many people from around the country were sending in information and missing persons posters in an attempt to aid the investigation. It was also confirmed that the handcuffs she had on weren't regular handcuffs and instead were adult handcuffs. A few days after the investigation launched, the police would find a man named Dennis Collins dead in his home, where upon investigating his house, they found several key items that were a match to the doorbell footage of the handcuffed woman. After investigating further, they found Dennis's note, and through that they finally identified the woman in the video and got in touch with her to question her. Apparently the woman was a girlfriend of sorts to Dennis. Dennis had a history of and the woman claimed he tried to restrain her with the adult handcuffs before she escaped and frantically ran door to door, where we then saw the doorbell footage. She then got a ride out of town to stay with family, and that's where police found her. That was the disturbing Ring doorbell footage Iceberg explained. If I forgot anything, or if you have a disturbing doorbell footage encounter, please let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the support on the channel. Remember to lock your doors tonight, and have yourselves a damn good one.